through his wheelhouse, as all the guys like to say, and he puts a top corner. The RPG line was definitely dangerous. But I got to tell you, man, as this game goes on, that Kasha Henrique line with Richie ended up being pretty dangerous and in creating chances and breaking a plays. They just couldn't put the puck in, as we'll see as we get into the second period, which, as you posted on Twitter, giftless. There was no gifts during the second period. Now, why is that?
There was literally nothing happening. I mean, I agree with you. I think Richie, Kasha, and Henrique, for the first time in a while, had been noticeable and had been getting things done. I mean, Kasha drew a penalty. And other than that, I think the only thing I got a gif out of was the Sagan batting the puck out of midair and kind of bounced behind Miller and almost went in. And then Miller just kind of sweeps his glove behind him and keeps it out. That was it. Other than that, I was grabbing Getzlaf putting a wig on, or Getzlaf's Lucky Charms cereal gif, and I was just throwing them out during the second intermission because there's nothing going on. This was, I don't know how many times over this last stretch here we've said, oh, that was a boring game, or that was a boring period, and it was so defensive in this period. It's teams were trying to figure each other out. I think Dallas was just waiting the Ducks out because I think at some point they knew they were going to get tired. And they knew that it was wearing on them, and it was. I mean, it's good play. It's smart by the Dallas Stars to kind of do that. It works out for them in the end, and I think it was a huge advantage for them to kind of pull that kind of stunt.
No, it's true. That second period, the Ducks. I mean, you basically just said to everybody what happened in that second period. It was boring. Nothing going on. The most exciting play there was Sagan out of midair on a hell of a play. That guy is so talented. It just makes me laugh every time I see that clip of Behind the B, the behind-the-scenes show they had in Boston called Behind the B, where the management team was talking about trading him. He's a great elite player, but does he fit our culture? That's the most dumb. It's got to be the dumbest words uttered out of that.
It was Louis Eriksson, man. Riley Smith, and I think there was a couple picks
Louis
in
Eriksson. I remember that.
I can't remember if that's how Boston got those 3 back-to-back first-round picks, but I kind of feel like that's was part of the deal that Sagan ended up going for. It's just insane that a Boston team like that would end up moving him. But it's no surprise that Peter Chiarelli's behind it because, hey, I mean, he's dealt now Sagan and Hall. So
that trade was Boston-Dallas. It happened on the 4th of July, 2013, so not all that long ago.
Yeah,
but they traded. It was a 7-player deal. Tyler Sagan, Rich Peverly, Ryan Button go to the Stars for Louis Eriksson, three prospects: Joe Morrow, Riley Smith, and Matt Frazier. So
wow,
unbelievable, man!
And Riley Smith then he went to Florida, and then he went to Vegas. So what does Boston even have left from that deal? I don't think they have anything. Maybe some of the draft picks they got, but that's it.
Hey, they're having a hell of a year this year. So
yeah, can't complain.
But as we digress off onto another NHL tangent that nobody cares about because we're hyping up Sagan. But the second period would end. The Ducks would still somehow be scraping onto a 1-0 lead. And as we've seen recently with this team, they just like to sit back. And they sat back in that second period. It was a 17-4 shot advantage for Dallas. More so when you look at the analytics side of things. I know people don't love analytics, but when you talk about a shot issue here, 30 attempts by Dallas compared to 13 by Anaheim. That really just tells you who was carrying the play and who had to make the most saves there. And the Ducks, I felt like they really had a chance with Ben Bishop being injured and Kari Lehtinen being in net, that it was going to be a game the Ducks should be able to take advantage of. It just didn't work out that way for whatever reason. I mean, is it a coaching thing in this second period where they just need to hold on for dear life? I can't imagine the players are just willingly sitting back like this.
I feel like it was just a good coaching effort from Hitchcock. I feel like he played that perfectly, like I said. I mean, he kind of knew the Ducks were looking a bit tired. They'd played a tough game the night before against Nashville, and they just set up well defensively. They were almost like picking their chances, Dallas was, to come out. And I mean, they outshot Ducks 17-4, so they were taking it to them offensively, but they were just picking their chances. They were picking the right moments. They had a good structure defensively. The Ducks couldn't get anything going offensively, and Dallas just kind of waited. Oh, there's a chance. Let's go. And then, yeah, I mean, that's all you can do. I think that was just. I don't want to say Carlo got out-coached, but that was a great strategic move by Dallas to kind of realize what position the Ducks were in at that point.
I felt like Dallas didn't overcommit on plays. Ever since they got burned by Getzlaf and Perry on that 2-on-1 where Hamhuis kind of dipped in too far on the half wall.
Yeah,
I feel like they didn't overcommit. Like they were not cut out of position. And Hitchcock hockey that's defense first. You play for the net out.
Well, let's not forget, this is a Dallas team that most people think of they're bad defensively because of how bad they've been in the past. But this is a team now who's kind of flipped the script. They used to be one of the best offensive teams in the National Hockey League, and their defense and goaltending was awful. But now this is a team who is 4th in goals against average, and their penalty kill is 6th. And it's actually goal scoring that's the issue for them because they're sitting 17th in goals per game. So Ken Hitchcock has just completely flipped the script on that team, and all of a sudden they're a defense-first team.
Yeah, but that works out when you have high-end talent. You're able to cash in on some chances. And like you said, though, that was one of the curious things about why they didn't do anything at the deadline, was to bring in some scoring because that was hurting. But they did take advantage of the Ducks here in the third period. I mean, I every time I look at these notes, as I was jotting them down throughout the game, I just felt like I kept saying, "Dallas is buzzing. Dallas is buzzing. They're getting chances. They're creating havoc around the net." This wasn't a run and gun game. I mean, they picked their spots, and Perry takes a dumb penalty here. He closes his hand on the puck, and that's a penalty. And even in the defensive zone, he gets a penalty there. Dallas goes to the power play, and they would convert. It'd be Devon Shore to make it 1-1 on a high tip. Nothing you can say or do to blame Miller there. And I always look for tweets from Ducks fans that are like trying to bash goalies, just because I always feel like people try to troll. It was one of the few times I didn't see one. Like I didn't see
wow, that's a surprise.
I just didn't see anything. I mean, there was nothing he could have done on it. I just always like to look. I know every team does that. You try to get people to bite on your dumb tweet or bite on your dumb post, but nothing Miller could have done there. Devon Shore gets a goal. I never heard of that guy until he scored right there. So that was interesting for me. I know I'm not a huge Dallas guy.
On the goalie thing, no Freddie. Freddie would have stopped that tweet. I feel like those are the ones that you get every now and then where he hasn't played for this team for, a year and a half now. I don't even know. Maybe it's even longer than that. Wow, it's pretty bad. I don't know. But yeah, you see those every
Toronto.
now and then.
Don't you hear about Freddie enough? I mean, Freddie's being
I hear
talked
him too
about
much.
daily for Vezina.
I tune it out now. I mean, he was my girlfriend's favorite player when he was there, and I heard about him then, and I hear about him now. I'm tuning it out. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf where I don't have to hear about Freddie Anderson every time Gibson lets in a weak goal.
Dude, it was June 20th, 2016.
All right. Well, a year and a half. I was right.
Year and a half.
There we go.
Basically spot on.
Man. Threw that off the top of my head.
And that led the way for Jonathan Bernier to come in and disappoint Anaheim against Nashville. But that's another story for Heartbreak.
Let's not
later.
get into that now,
I don't need to get into. No, I didn't see any dumb tweets about that. The scariest thing that happened in this game, man, was what happened to Josh Manson. It looked really, really, really bad. You tweeted a GIF out about it, and I think everyone held their breath. I mean, he's one of the most pivotal players on this team, especially on the blue line. We're already playing Bieksa and Boschman and rotating him in and out of the lineup with a rookie with Pettersson. At that point, if we saw a serious injury, we were talking about bringing up Larson, Megna, Walensky, somebody up for the stretch run, which is just not an ideal situation. Thank God he came back. That was scary, right? I mean, I really thought he caught his eye, and then that would have been the end of everything for this, for him, for at least the game, if not longer. It was scary.
I didn't even see it initially. I just saw him laying on the ice, and it looked like he was hurt pretty bad. And then when you watch the replay, you can't really even see from the replay how bad it is. You just see a skate getting close to his face, and he obviously goes down in a heap, and he's in pain. Luckily, it didn't turn out to be that bad. You see him when he's on the bench, he's got a nice black eye, but he got off lucky there because it could have been a lot worse. He could have got cut in the eye, or some severe type of injury right there where if he gets cut in the eye, that's pretty close to season ending, if not season ending. Depending on the severity.
Or worse. That's so scary, man.
Yeah.
Those blades are so sharp. We've seen guys' necks get cut, wrists get cut. There was it Dan Boyle in Tampa Bay had a skate fall off his locker because they hang up, and it hit his wrist and split his tendons in his wrist. I believe it was Dan Boyle that happened to. That put him out for months. It's just anytime it comes to a skate to a body part is scary.
Yeah.
Eric Carlson got his Achilles heel torn from it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many damaging plays. And the fact he wasn't even cut as he's falling to the ice as his skate comes up, just a freak act
He must
in
have
the nature
got
of that play.
butt to his head. Like he must have got the butt end of
the
it.
skate.
Because it looks like it's just like it's probably just a bruised bone or something like that. But like we said, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. And like maybe not even like you said season ending, but it could have been career ending if he gets cut in the eye and has severe damage to his eye. You know that's a tough thing to come back from.
I mean, a la Chris Pronger. I mean, what happened with him when he played in Philly and he took a stick to the eye?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the one time I've ever heard a hockey player scream audibly. I mean, granted, there's more mics on the ice than there ever used to be. But back then, even though it was probably 6-7 years ago, maybe. I try to remember what time he retired, but you could hear him yell. It's just frightening. But luckily, Manson comes back. Looks like he's got a nice shiner that's probably going to be even worse after tonight. But my buddy Dave texted me. He's like, dude, he didn't get cut. And I was like, what do you mean he didn't get cut? And he goes, there was no blood on the ice. You didn't even see blood on the towel. Usually your face bleeds really quickly. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So he was like, there's no way he's cut. He just got kicked in the eye. And sure enough, it's exactly what it was. So thankfully, there was no major injury there. But as we go on to the third period, the Ducks tease us here. Henrique hits the post. Fowler with a chance. I thought Fowler hit the post too. I'd have to go back and look at the replay, but I felt like there was two chances there where the Ducks caught the pipe and were not able to convert. And then the play goes the other way with Dallas getting a partial breakaway, who other than Antoine Roussel, who gets tied up by the guy that we've been hoping was in the lineup, and it was Marcus Pettersson who ties him up. Yeah. I felt like Roussel took a little bit of a dive. Of course, he should, he would. That's what everyone does in that situation. Can't really fault him on it. Power play Dallas, which would lead to John Klingberg faking the shot off the draw from the point, and then flipping a puck towards the net. Apparently it hits Jamie Benn, but either way, there's no way Miller was going to get it, and it was 2-1 Dallas.
This kind of brings up a discussion that I brought up earlier in the season, and I really kind of just don't know what a penalty shot is anymore, because Roussel was on a pretty clear breakaway. Pettersson comes in from behind him, takes down. Like you said, Roussel, a little bit of a dive, but that's what you're going to do on a play like that. And it is a penalty on Pettersson. There's no question about it. But, I mean, I don't know what they classify as being a penalty shot anymore. I mean, it just seems like if you're going to pick a chance for there to be a penalty shot, that would be it. Obviously, the Ducks are a little bit lucky, I guess, that it wasn't a penalty shot because Dallas still scores on the power play. But it's kind of just an interesting thing. It's like that and goaltender interference. There's a lot of questions up in the air of what is what anymore. So I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but I felt like that could have been a borderline penalty shot.
I mean, even the broadcast thought it was going to be, and I think Allers was like, it could be a penalty shot. And then the Ducks, they felt like the puck was played, and apparently it wasn't, and they waited. And Hayward's like, it could still be a penalty shot. We just have to see. And then they end up getting the puck, and it turns out to be a power play for Dallas, which they convert on, which would be the game-winning goal there for Jamie Benn. But my thoughts are, it's kind of like, anytime you leave a play up to the discretion of somebody, it's arbitrary. You're never going to get the same call over and over again, and that's why goaltender interference is messed up too. Is because where was the goalie clipped? Was he clipped inside the crease, outside the crease? Did someone push him in or not push him in? It's like there's all these arbitrary rules in the NHL, and that's what makes things blurry. And then anybody who's on the side of the losing side of that arbitrary call gets upset about it. Yeah. So
it's always
and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah. Right? There's nothing we can do about it. Unless you want to rewrite the rule book and just make it black and white.
Yeah.
Which nobody wants to do.
No, it's not
everyone wants to complain, but nobody wants to do. And I'm a big proponent. Like my whole point behind being upset about the coaches' challenges is I just want to get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
Just go back and accept the fact there's mistakes made. That's just what happens. just let it go. I don't want to.
I think to some extent, I feel like if there's the reason the offside challenge and everything is in there is because of that one Duchesne play where he was great. Like a mile offside and he scored a goal against Nashville. That's why it's there. I feel like that to some extent you need it, and you need to be able to review those types of plays, but I feel like you don't need the coach's challenge to do that. I feel like those plays should just be reviewed automatically. just have a little. You don't have to. I mean, in the break between the goal scoring and the